Welcome to the Own Your Choices, Own Your Life podcast. You've landed in the right place to learn how to own your story, release subconscious beliefs, rewire your mind, and step into the impact you know you're here to create. Through outspoken publishing and NLP certifications, we share the tools and subconscious shifts that expand your voice, your message, your confidence, and your leadership. I am your host, Marsha Van Weinsberg, NLP trainer, speaker, author, and publisher. I am thrilled you are here. Let's get started. Welcome back to the show. I am thrilled that you are here. I want to talk a little bit today about success versus fulfillment, because I feel like this is a conversation that we all need to hear and be able to reflect on. I have so many people who come into my space who are like, okay, well, what's going to be successful for my book? How do I know my business is successful? And it's almost like there's this kind of imaginary measure that has to be there of like, is it successful or not? And that also means that it's something external to us that is not lining up with who we are, what we're doing, and what we want to create. So I think this is actually a really important question when it comes to like leadership and leading ourselves in our business, because it's not the same thing, right? Success and fulfillment, they're not the same thing. A lot of people, I actually know of a lot of people who firsthand live the definition of what you would deem as successful, like what they've done, what they've created, the success that they've had. They have the financial success, they have these pieces, yet their health is not there, their relationships aren't there. And it's constantly chasing something external outside of yourself. It doesn't mean that we can't have like nice things or desire nice things. That's not what it means. So I want to get a little bit more clear on this today, just from this. I'm going to throw in some Tony Robbins here because I think that it is important. If we are forever chasing something outside of ourselves as success, we are disconnecting from ourselves, because that is going to fix me internally. And we don't need to be further disconnected from ourselves, because I actually think we are already very disconnected from ourselves, to be completely honest. So if you're constantly chasing like more money, more clients, recognition, more growth, the stage, the things outside of you, without a tie to why you're doing it, that is something that is beyond you, then you might find yourself in a space of forever chasing. So I know so many incredibly successful, high achieving people that still feel a constant level of restlessness, anxiousness, overwhelm, exhaustion, and feeling constantly burnt out chasing the next thing. And this is where again, my own opinion, you can take it or leave it. But I think success without fulfillment, like if you have the definition of success out here, but it's costing you everything you have without personal fulfillment, I'm going to call that almost a failure. I don't love the word failure, but I feel that it is not achieving and living up to the potential that you can. So let's chat a little bit. I've got a definition here that I want to go through. Tony Robbins talks about the difference between the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. So the science of achievement is like the goals, the strategy, the like execution, performance, the growth, the building, the accomplishing, like what you're doing, the accolades, right? The things that are outside of you that feel very important. And I mean, I'm your first person. I'm here. I love this part of the strategy. I love building the vision, the growth, the expansion. And fulfillment is very different. It's entirely different. Fulfillment is internal, coming back to internal, not all about me or you. It's not that ego piece, but it's an internal. It's connection, it's meaning, it's alignment, it's contribution, gratitude, peace, presence, emotional, like congruence, like being in alignment with who you are. And when you tap into that fulfillment, what I think happens is the success actually comes. So when we're following a piece of fulfillment that we can do something to help others, we actually can make a difference outside of ourselves. Like I work with a lot of people who come in with very vulnerable stories, but they feel so driven to do something good with it out in the world that I see them as somebody who is like filling themselves to be able to give back to others, and the impact that they make in the world, it just gives them this level, this deep, meaningful level of connection and fulfillment. And that creates what I would call success. So, again, my own personal opinion, I'm hoping this comes across to make sense, but it was really landing because I have had clients come in and say, "Well, how many books should I sell?" And I'm like, "There's no should. What do you want to sell?" And they're like, "I don't know. What's successful?" I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell you what that number is." They're like, "Well, how many have you sold?" I'm like, "I don't know. Lots, actually. I don't know." But that's not my value. There's nothing wrong with that. When it comes to creating success and fulfillment, you can't do this without knowing what your own internal values are. And I'm not talking about the pretty ones that you circle on Pinterest. I'm talking about the true subconscious ones, the deep ones that are real. The deep ones that have like deep transformational meaning for you, like significance, like that's who you are. That's why you do the work that you do. That is your subconscious values. When you're clear on what they are, it gets a lot easier to stay in alignment with them and live a life of fulfillment. See, when we do the work in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, you start to understand that many of our behaviors, how we behave, react, respond to the world around us, they're driven by our unconscious needs. They are 95% of who we are. They are driven by our subconscious. So everything, the needs for like validation and approval or safety, control is another one I hear all the time. That what happens is that we're building, pushing, achieving, proving, trying to finally feel like enough, try and finally feel safe, trying to feel like we have arrived, like our level of success has arrived. And that's again, all like from the outside can look like a person has success, but internally their nervous system is like exhausted, bracing, striving, like unable to fully receive and feeling like they're just so fried. And what happens when that happens, we become so disconnected to ourselves that it's affecting our own self-worth. So if our self-worth feels like it's dropping lower and lower, you know what happens subconsciously? We go chase more. We go do more because we don't like that internal feeling. Instead, can you pause long enough to get curious, ask yourself some questions, and be like, where's this coming from? What does this feel like? How can I shift this? Because getting okay with those emotions, I'm not saying avoid them or ignore them. I'm actually saying confront them, feel them, pause in them. Some of my hardest moments was when I realized that I spent decades of my life chasing success outside of me, decades, trying to prove that I was enough. And I know that might sound really silly. I'm just being very brutally honest with you. And guess what? It never was. Because when you chase outside of yourself for whatever you deem success, but you don't change the belief system internally, the beliefs, the limitations, what you're telling yourself is possible, until you change that, your self worth game will not change. The gap stays the same or bigger. And now all of a sudden you continue to make that mean something about you. And that will keep you stuck for longer. See, it's so ironic because I think this actually leads into the work that I get to do. We stumbled into the Heartwired CEO live event and mastermind because this is the work that changed our business. Is getting okay with those emotions, getting clear on what that is, like message is, so that you're training your body to be able to hold what it is that you're creating. And I think true leadership that we're building in the future is hardwired. It's not hustle wired, hard wired, burnt out wired, fear wired. It's not any of those things because that's not sustainable. It is not something you can continue to hold. You might reach that level of success, and trust me, you're going to lose it just as fast because you haven't built the vessel. You are the vessel, your body is the vessel to hold what you are building. How instead, with fulfillment, Can you actually take like your level of fulfillment and make sure it's tied to like your truth, who you are, your values, your purpose, your impact, your alignment, what you're here to do, not just your ability to produce what you define as success. Because I'm going to be very honest with you here. There are times in my business where, like, I have massive money outstanding from clients who owe. I have things that feel like they're not working at all. And a past version of me would be like, we have to fix something. We got to fix something. Like, this isn't working. I think this work, this fulfillment, this nervous system work does not mean I'm not actively working to follow up on these things. My value in myself, the fulfillment of what I'm doing, the trust that I'm building, you can't knock me off. I might have a blip, I might trip, but I know because I have certainty in myself. I am following the alignment of fulfillment, what I know I'm here to do. That's it. I believe success comes as a byproduct of that. And those are my definitions and my beliefs. And I realize not everybody might not agree with that. But there have been times where as things are going wrong everywhere and I am like, I'm behind on a payment and that does not feel good at all. And I come back and I'm like, I know I'm going to sort this out. I know I'm going to figure this out. I know I'm going to find a solution. I believe in myself. I believe in my team. It's going to happen. That is a level of knowing, trust, and fulfillment. I know people firsthand who have like literally everything. I'm talking the financial means, I'm talking the like you name it. And I know this. I'm not saying that they portray it, they have it. And they live with a constant state of not enough, not grateful for what they have, not anchored in a fulfillment, very centered, focused, not impact driven. So I'm sharing that with you because you might see people who quote unquote have it all on what you deem a success and the level of fulfillment internally is empty. As Tony Robbins has said, he does use this often in paraphrasing, but the message that he talks about with Robin Williams. Robin Williams had every single goal that he had in his life that he wanted to achieve. And he worked with Tony. They knew each other. Everything he had, he put out there, he achieved it. Every single one. Imagine achieving every single goal that you would set for yourself. And I'm talking like big goals. And internally, the fulfillment was not there. Yes, there's repeated like mental health issues, there are addiction, there's other things that are always happening. But there are incredibly talented, successful people who are very lost in their journey in life. And I think some of that comes down to the fulfillment, how they see themselves in the process, the internal work first. And I realize this is a really tricky topic, especially as like I can say it firsthand. We've walked this in a very detailed way. And I have so much to share on this that I'm still finding ways to share it. Fulfillment feels so uncomfortable to talk about for high achievers because it feels fluffy. It's a subconscious conversation. It's not a conscious, it's a subconscious conversation because many people have conditioned their systems to only recognize pressure, right? Pressure, urgency, stress, striving, proving, overworking. That is the sign of success. I have had people in my own family talk about like the fact that, your dues and paying and burnout, just the price that you pay. And I'm like, maybe it is. I don't know because I'm still in the process of becoming. I don't know. And I'm still growing and learning as I do this. But I'm really proud of the fact that I can find peace and fulfillment even in the uncomfortable days, even in the times that maybe some people would say, but she hasn't had the success yet. Like, even in those times, can you tap into the fulfillment when it looks like nothing is working and you know your big picture vision of where you're going? Can you find peace there? Can you be still? Like, I actually think when that peace arrives or when you're having quiet or stillness, does that feel unsafe? Does it feel unproductive if you're resting? Because all of that is going to tie back into, will you allow yourself to receive? Have you tied receiving only to when you are doing and pushing and striving? Can you receive when you are allowing yourself to rest and recharge? See, I was addicted to this pushing and it had to be more. And trust me, I'm going to be honest, I can outwork a lot of people. I am training this muscle on a daily basis. That fulfillment is my reminder that we're on the right path and we're doing what we're here to do. That fulfillment piece is everything. And when I drop into the pushing harder, proving, doing more, I'm like, that's my past version. And what got me to here, God damn, I'm so proud of her and what she's done. I'm so proud of her and what she's done. And I know that where I want to go is going to require a different version of me. It's not the same version. And so if we're always addicted to that pattern and we don't pause, see it, and rewire it to have a different meaning, we are forever chasing goals outside of ourselves. And guess what? You can get the goal, but if you don't pause, allow yourself to receive, feel worthy enough to do it, you've like taken that self-worth and increase the value within yourself, you're still going to be chasing and it never stops. So fulfillment. This is one of the things that I want to just leave on is fulfillment is like when you have that congruence with your inner world, your outer world, your values, your identity, who you are, how you lead yourself, what that looks like, how you trust yourself, how you know yourself. That's where fulfillment lives. And that's a day-to-day process where I always tell my clients, like at the end of every day, stack your wins. Where did you win? Where did you show up for yourself? Where did you lead yourself? Where did you stay in alignment with your values, with who you are? Where did you respond to your world with boundaries, with love? Like knowing that your vision is here to impact and help a lot of people. That's where I believe fulfillment lives. I do not believe fulfillment lives in the chasing perfection, doing more, constant burnout, endless achievement without pausing to receive that. And when you do that, you're more connected to the outside world and more disconnected from the inside world. And the more connected we can stay to the inside world, it's where the magic is. I felt this example. I know I've shared it here, but I felt this example when we had the live podcast. Because for me, a past version of me would have been great, amazing. What's next? I anchored that thing in and it impacted me in ways I don't think I can even still put into words. To see the ripple effect, to know that I have opened the doors. And again, not ego, this is not it. To know that a version of me that was so freaking scared but she went anyways. And the knowing that her story could help someone else out and make a big difference in their lives led to a level of fulfillment that is still hard to put into words. If your success is costing you your health, your peace, your values, your relationships, like your joy, if it's costing you all of that, is it worth it? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. Is it worth it? But ask yourself that question because it's really important. Can you be so connected to yourself that you are like in alignment with what you're building? And I'm going to even take this one step further. I realize this is a longer solo episode, so thank you still for being here. Start asking yourself the questions like, how do I want to live? How do I want to feel? What actually matters to me? What kind of impact do I want to leave in the world? And can I be fully myself while I'm creating, achieving success? Is it in alignment with my values? I will not grow my business to compromise my health and my relationships. Not going to happen. It's just not. That is that important to me. Now, do I get off track of that? Yep, lots of times. And then I stop and pause myself and remind myself, wait, what's fulfillment? What feels good? And coming back into that. So I hope this message, there's a nugget in here for you that I wanted to share. Success is like the changes in your external world. Not that they're not important. But fulfillment changes your inner world. And damn, you change that inner world, you will change your outer world. I promise you. When your like identity, how you see yourself, your subconscious patterns, your beliefs, your values, your purpose, how you lead yourself is in alignment with who you are and what you want to do, the work you're here to do, and the impact that you can have, and you build from that space, that's a beautiful freaking thing. That is fulfillment, and people feel that. That is an energetic connection to people. They feel it and they know it. And your success will not cost you. Your success is just the byproduct of the fulfillment that you are leading yourself to and with. And when you stay in that energy, it changes everything. This is like why the deep subconscious work, the 95% of who you are, is so critically important, because nothing else will change without that changing. Nothing. You're going to be forever chasing outside of yourself until you anchor in on that subconscious pattern belief that you are running from. So, success external, fulfillment internal. Focus on the fulfillment internal, watch the success grow. So, if that speaks to you and you want more, you want to do this work, you want to dive in, anything in the show notes is there. You can connect with me. This is the work of Outspoken. We have the August cohort that's kicking off, the NLP certification. This is the work that you learn how to do so that you can help to transform others, how you can make a difference in others. And we have about 50 people who've come through the program, and I'm so freaking proud of this work and the difference that it's making. So I would love to know how this message lands. I thank you for being here, for continuing to share the show and put it out there. It means the absolute world to me. I am forever cheering you on. Have an incredible day. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Own Your Choices, Own Your Life. I invite you to tag me on social media with your takeaways or share it with a friend. If you feel called, please leave a 5-star review and I would be forever grateful. Until next time, remember, when you own your choices, you own your life.